Looks like it's just you and me tonight. The man holding the clipboard gave me a small, apologetic smile as rain started tapping against the awning above us. I looked past him, like the rest of the tour group might suddenly appear from behind a parked car. Nobody did. Just wet sidewalks, glowing storefronts, and a bus pulling away at the corner. Everyone canceled? I asked. Apparently Chicago rain is terrifying. He glanced at the dark clouds, then back at me. I can refund you. I should have said yes. I had already spent most of the day telling myself this tour was a stupid idea. I lived 20 minutes away. I knew the city. I had only booked it because it was Friday night, my apartment was too quiet, and scrolling through other people's lives had started making my chest feel weird. Going home would have been easier. I'm already here, I muttered. His eyebrows lifted. That's not exactly a glowing review. I mean, I put on real pants for this. That made him laugh. Not the polite customer service laugh I expected. A real one. Warm and quick. Okay, that changes everything. He tucked the clipboard under one arm and held out his hand. Noah. Ethan. His palm was warm despite the cold air. The handshake lasted maybe 1 second. Probably less. Still, I noticed it, which was annoying. So, Ethan. He said my name like he was making sure he remembered it. I can still do the tour. It'll just be less official. How unofficial? I might skip the statue everyone pretends to care about. I smiled before I could stop myself. Risky. I know. He stepped out from under the awning, then turned when he realized I hadn't followed. You coming? There was something about the way he waited. Most people would have kept walking and expected me to catch up. Noah just stood there in the rain, one hand in the pocket of his dark jacket, watching me like my answer actually mattered. My stomach tightened for no good reason. I told myself it was because this was awkward. A private tour with a stranger. That was all. I followed him. We walked past the crowded restaurants near Michigan Avenue, but Noah didn't start with dates or architecture. Instead, he pointed toward a narrow alley between two buildings. Best late-night coffee in the city. That place looks closed. It always looks closed. He pushed open a red door I would have walked past without noticing. Inside was a tiny counter, 6 stools, and a tired barista who greeted Noah by name. Your usual? She called. Noah looked at me. What do you drink? Black coffee. He studied my face for half a second. No, you don't. I blinked. Excuse me. You paused. His mouth twitched. That means you were about to order something boring because you think it sounds more adult. I stared at him. You've known me for minutes. And I'm already doing great. I should have been irritated. Instead, I laughed. Vanilla latte. Noah nodded toward the barista. 1 vanilla latte. Extra hot. We took the drinks back outside. The rain had softened, leaving the pavement glossy under the streetlights. Noah walked beside me instead of ahead. Every few steps, he glanced over like he was checking I was still there. You do that with everyone? I asked. Do what? Keep looking back. His eyes met mine. For a second, he didn't answer. Only when I don't want to lose someone. My chest tightened. Then he smiled and pointed toward the next block. Come on. The real tour starts over here. I told myself he was just good at his job. That was the first lie I told myself that night. The real tour turned out to be nothing like the one I had booked. Noah skipped the landmarks and took me through places I had passed 100 times without really seeing. A tiny bookstore under the train tracks. A diner with 6 booths and a neon clock that was always 7 minutes fast. An old station entrance that had been sealed off years ago, but still had brass letters over the doors. My dad used to bring me here when I was a kid. Noah told me, slowing near the steps. He said every city has 2 versions. The one everyone sees, and the one people only notice when they stop rushing. I looked at him. Which one are you showing me? His mouth curved slightly. Still deciding. That answer stayed in my head longer than it should have. We kept walking. Somehow, the conversation stopped feeling like a tour and started feeling like the kind of talk people usually have after midnight, when they are too tired to keep pretending everything is fine. I told him I worked in graphic design. He guessed I hated most of my clients. He was right. I told him my friends were all moving in with partners, getting engaged, buying furniture that matched. And you? He glanced over. I bought a lamp last week. Noah laughed so suddenly, he almost spilled his coffee. Big year for you. Huge. What color? Black. He nodded seriously. Brave. I laughed, but the tight feeling in my chest did not go away. I do not know. Everyone keeps moving forward. I feel like I am just watching it happen. Noah stopped walking. Not dramatically. He just slowed until I noticed and turned back. The city moved around us. Cars passed. Someone shouted across the street. But he was looking at me like none of that mattered. Maybe they are not moving forward, he said. Maybe they are just moving fast. I swallowed. That sounds like something you tell every lonely person on this tour. You are the first person who has said that to me. Because I am the only person here. That is not why. The pause that followed felt too quiet. I looked down at my cup, suddenly very interested in the lid. Noah stepped closer and reached past me. His fingers brushed mine as he adjusted the cardboard sleeve that had started slipping. It was nothing. Barely a touch. Still, my pulse jumped. It is hot, he murmured. You were about to burn yourself. I had it handled. Clearly. His hand stayed near mine for half a second too long before he pulled away. I told myself I was imagining it. The rain. The late hour. The fact that I had not had a real conversation with anyone in weeks. That could make normal things feel important. We walked another block before Noah ducked into a corner shop. He came back out holding a second drink. You already have coffee. This one is for you. I stared at the cup. I already have coffee. That one is getting cold. He handed me the new one. Vanilla latte. Extra hot. Exactly the same. You remembered? Noah held my gaze. I pay attention. My stomach dropped in the most embarrassing way possible. I looked away first. Dangerous habit. Only around certain people. Then he started walking again, like he had not just said something that made it hard for me to breathe normally. I followed him anyway. That was the second lie I told myself that night. That I was only following because I did not know the way. The rain came back all at once. 1 second, it was barely misting. The next, people were running for cover and Noah had his hand around my wrist, pulling me beneath the narrow awning of a closed jewelry store. You okay? He was breathing a little harder from the sprint. I nodded, even though my heart was pounding for reasons that had nothing to do with running. The awning was barely wide enough for one person. Noah stood close, shoulder pressed against mine, rain dripping from his hair onto the collar of his jacket. Every time someone hurried past us, he shifted nearer so they would not bump into me. This is a terrible tour, I muttered. You have had 2 coffees and free cardio. I feel scammed. His smile showed up slowly. You are still here. I looked at him. Maybe I am bad at leaving. Something changed in his face. The joke should have ended there. He should have laughed. Instead, he held my gaze, quiet enough that I could hear the rain hitting the metal above us. Maybe, he said, softer now. I am giving you reasons not to. My chest tightened. I tried to come up with something sarcastic, but nothing came out. Noah looked away first, rubbing the back of his neck like he had surprised himself. That sounded smoother in my head. I let out a nervous laugh. Did it? Not really. A couple squeezed beneath the far edge of the awning, both of them soaked and laughing. The woman glanced at us, then at how close Noah was standing. Date night went wrong? She asked. Something like that. Noah answered before I could. My stomach dropped. The couple moved on as soon as the light changed, but the question stayed between us. Noah did not correct her. Neither did I. Something like that? I repeated. He looked at me from the corner of his eye. Would you rather I explained the full situation? Which is a private walking tour with a guy who keeps pretending he is not having fun. I'm having a medium amount of fun. Liar. He reached up suddenly. His fingers brushed my cheek. I froze. You had rainwater here. His thumb moved once, slow and careful, just below my eye. Then he stopped. For a second, neither of us moved. His hand stayed there, warm against my cold skin. I could see every small detail in his face. The faint line near his eyebrow. The way his eyes dropped for half a second, then returned to mine. He was close enough that I forgot what I was supposed to do with my hands. It meant nothing. He was just helping. That was what I tried to tell myself. Then Noah seemed to realize he was still touching me. His hand lowered, but not quickly. Sorry. It is fine. My voice came out quieter than I wanted. The rain began to ease, but neither of us stepped away. Noah glanced toward the street, then back at me. We can wait another minute. There was no reason to. The sidewalk was already clearing. Still, I nodded. Sure. His shoulders settled against mine again. This time, it did not feel accidental. And that was the moment I stopped believing he treated every guest this way. By the time the rain stopped, the official tour had been over for almost 20 minutes. I checked the time on my phone and tried not to look disappointed. I guess that is it. Noah glanced at the screen, then toward the street. It could be. That sounds suspicious. Have you ever seen the lakefront this late? I narrowed my eyes. Is that part of the tour? Not even a little. He smiled, but there was something careful behind it now. Like he was giving me an easy way out. I should have taken it. Instead, I slipped my phone back into my pocket. Lead the way. We grabbed food from a cart near the river and walked until the noise of downtown faded behind us. Noah bought fries. I stole 3 before he noticed. You know, he said, pulling the tray closer. Most people wait until the second date before stealing food. I nearly choked. Second date. His eyes flicked toward me. Second unofficial tour. Right. Obviously. Neither of us sounded convincing. We found an empty bench near the water. For a while, we just ate and watched the lights move across the surface. It should have felt awkward. It did not. That was becoming a problem. Why do you do this? I asked. Noah leaned back. Give tours. Show strangers places that matter to you. His expression shifted. Just a little. Maybe it is easier with strangers. Because you never see them again? He looked down at the fries in his hands. Usually. The word landed harder than it should have. I picked at the edge of the paper wrapper. So tonight is normal for you. Noah turned toward me. No, my pulse jumped. No. Most people want pictures. History. Restaurant recommendations. He paused. They do not ask why I keep everyone at a safe distance. I forced a laugh. Maybe I am nosy. Maybe. His knee touched mine. Neither of us moved. Or maybe you noticed things you were not supposed to. The air between us changed again. I could feel it happening, slow and obvious, and still had no idea what to do with it. Do you always avoid answering questions like this? I murmured. Noah watched me for a long second. Do you always ask questions when you are scared of the answer? My throat went dry. I am not scared. You keep looking away. I looked at him then, mostly to prove him wrong. That was a mistake. He was closer than I realized. His gaze dropped briefly to my mouth, then returned to my eyes. My chest tightened so fast it almost hurt. Ethan. My name came out quiet. Not like a warning. More like he was testing how it felt. I could have leaned in. I think he would have met me halfway. His hand shifted on the bench between us, close enough that our fingers nearly touched. Then his phone buzzed. The sound cut through the moment like glass breaking. Noah pulled back first, breathing out slowly as he checked the screen. A man's name appeared beside a faded heart icon. I looked away before he could see that I had noticed. You should get that. My voice sounded colder than I meant it to. Noah studied my face. Ethan. It is fine. No, it is not. His phone buzzed again between us. This time, neither of us moved. And somehow, the distance he had just put between us felt worse than if he had answered. The phone stopped buzzing, but the name stayed on the screen between us. Noah turned it face down. He is my ex. I tried to keep my expression neutral. You do not have to explain. I know. His jaw tightened slightly. I want to. That should have made me feel better. It did not. Not yet. Noah leaned forward, elbows on his knees. His name is Marcus. We broke up almost a year ago, but he still has a heart next to his name. The words came out before I could stop them. Noah glanced at the phone, then gave a tired laugh. I forgot that was there. Right. Ethan. He looked at me carefully. There is nothing going on. I nodded like I believed him. Maybe I did. The problem was that I cared enough to need the answer. That felt dangerous. Before I could say anything, a voice called Noah's name from behind us. A man in a navy jacket approached with a woman beside him, both carrying takeout bags. Noah stood, surprised. Daniel. The man grinned and pulled him into a quick hug. I thought that was you. His eyes moved to me, then to the bench, the coffee cups, and the food we had been sharing. His smile widened. Private tour. Noah rubbed the back of his neck. Something like that. Since when do you extend tours past midnight? Daniel looked at me again, clearly enjoying himself. He usually disappears the second the clock runs out. My stomach flipped. Noah gave him a warning look. Do not. Daniel lifted both hands. I am just saying. This is new. The woman beside him nudged his arm, but she was smiling too. Leave them alone. Them. The word hung there. Noah shifted closer to me without seeming to realize it. Ethan, this is Daniel. We work together sometimes. Nice to meet you. Daniel shook my hand, then looked at Noah. Are you coming to Leah's birthday tomorrow? Marcus said he might stop by. Noah's whole body went still. It was subtle, but I felt it. Probably not. Seriously? Everyone is going. Daniel's tone softened. You cannot avoid the whole group forever. Noah glanced at me, and something closed in his expression. I am not avoiding anyone. Daniel seemed to realize he had stepped into something. Right? Sorry. He and the woman left after a quick goodbye, but the quiet they left behind felt different from before. Heavier. Noah sat down again, farther from me this time. Marcus is part of the same friend group, he explained. That is all. You do not owe me an explanation. You keep saying that. Because we met 2 hours ago. His eyes met mine. Exactly. The word came out sharper than I expected. Noah looked away toward the water. This is why I do not do this. My chest tightened. Do what? Let one night feel bigger than it is. There it was. The line he had been trying not to cross. I stood before he could see how much it landed. Then maybe we should stop before it does. Noah looked up at me, regret flashing across his face. For 1 second, I thought he might reach for my hand. He did not. And somehow, that hurt more than the phone call. I made it 3 steps before Noah caught up with me. Ethan. I kept walking. The station is this way, right? Stop. His hand closed around my wrist. Not hard, just enough to make me turn. The second I did, he let go like he had crossed a line without permission. His chest rose slowly under his jacket. He looked frustrated, but not with me. What I said back there came out wrong. It sounded pretty clear. It was not. I folded my arms, mostly so he would not see my hands shaking. Then make it clear. Noah looked past me toward the street, jaw tight. For a moment, I thought he might retreat again. Instead, he reached into his pocket, took out his phone, and blocked Marcus's number right in front of me. You did not have to do that. I should have done it months ago. He slipped the phone away. I kept telling myself I was being kind. Really, I was leaving a door open because closing it felt too final. The traffic light changed. People started crossing around us, forcing us closer to the building. Noah stayed in front of me, blocking the crowd from brushing against my shoulder. And tonight? I asked. His eyes found mine. Tonight scared me. My stomach dropped. I tried to laugh, but it came out thin. That is reassuring. Not because I did not feel anything. He stepped closer. Because I did. Everything inside me went still. Noah rubbed a hand over his face, then let it fall. I kept extending the tour because I did not want you to leave. I took you to the lake because I needed another excuse. And when Daniel called this new, he was right. His voice lowered. I do not do this. Do what? Notice every time someone gets quiet. Remember exactly how they take their coffee. Stand in the rain pretending the sidewalk is still too wet because I do not want the moment to end. My chest tightened so hard I had to look away. You make it sound like I am not imagining this. You are not. A bike cut too close to the curb behind me. Noah reacted before I did, grabbing my hand and pulling me toward him. My shoulder hit his chest. His other hand steadied my arm. Watch it. He called after the rider, then looked down at me. You okay? I nodded. He did not release my hand. The danger was gone. The sidewalk was clear. Still, his fingers stayed wrapped around mine, warm and careful. I looked at our hands, then back at him. You can let go now. Noah's thumb moved once across my knuckles. I know. The noise of the city seemed to fade around us. Are you going to? He held my gaze. I do not want to. My heart started pounding again. This time, there was no joke waiting to save either of us. Noah, I know this is fast. His grip loosened slightly, giving me room to pull away. I know one night is not enough to trust someone, but it felt real to me. I swallowed. It felt real to me too. His expression softened, almost relieved. Then he stepped back just enough to look at me properly, still holding my hand. Good. Good. Yeah. A nervous smile appeared. Because I was running out of ways to keep you from going home. For a few seconds, neither of us moved. Noah was still holding my hand, and I was still pretending I knew what to do with that. Then the station announcement echoed across the platform. My train was arriving in 2 minutes. Noah glanced toward the tracks. You should probably go. The words hit harder than they should have. I pulled my hand back before he could feel the change in me. Right. His face tightened. That is not what I meant. You do not have to explain everything. Ethan, it was a good night. I hated how formal I sounded. Like I was leaving a restaurant review. Noah stepped in front of me before I could turn away. Why are you doing that? Doing what? Acting like I just ended this. I looked past him at the approaching lights. You said I should go. Because your train is here. Exactly. Noah went quiet. For the first time all night, he looked unsure. Not charming. Not confident. Just a guy trying to find the right words before the doors opened. I do not know what happens after tonight, he admitted. That is the truth. My chest sank. I nodded once. Okay. But I am not saying I regret it. His eyes held mine. I am saying I am scared I will mess it up. The train rolled into the station with a rush of wind. People started moving around us. Noah stepped closer so I could hear him. I meet people all the time. I know how to make one night feel easy. I know how to say goodbye. His voice dropped. I do not know how to do this when I actually want someone to stay. My throat tightened. So what are you asking me? He looked down, then back at me. I do not know yet. That hesitation hurt more than I wanted it to. The doors opened. A few passengers stepped out, brushing past us. I backed toward the train. Then maybe you should figure it out. Noah's hand lifted slightly, like he wanted to stop me, but he let it fall. Ethan. I waited. He took one step closer. His eyes dropped to my mouth, and for one dangerous second, I thought he was going to kiss me. I did not move away. Neither did he. We just stood there, close enough that I could feel his breath, both of us too afraid to be the one who crossed the line. The warning chime sounded. Noah closed his eyes for half a second, then stepped back. I do not want this to end here. My heart pounded. Then do not let it. I got on the train before I could say anything else. Through the glass, I watched him pull out his phone. Mine buzzed before the doors closed. One new message. From Noah. I already miss you. I stared at the screen until the train started moving. Then another message appeared. That sounded too much. I smiled despite myself and typed back. It sounded honest. 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. Then nothing. By the time I reached the next station, Noah still had not replied. And the longer the silence lasted, the more I started to wonder if honesty had scared him away. I did not hear from Noah again that night. By morning, I had convinced myself I was fine with that. It had been one strange, good night. Nothing more. That was what I told myself while making coffee. Again in the shower. Again when I checked my phone for the 5th time before noon. By 2, the silence felt deliberate. By 4, it felt embarrassing. I was standing in my kitchen pretending to read an email when someone knocked on my door. I almost ignored it. Then they knocked again. 3 quick taps. A pause. 2 more. I opened the door, and Noah was standing there with 2 coffee cups and rain still darkening the shoulders of his jacket. My chest tightened so fast I forgot how annoyed I was supposed to be. You disappeared, I said. Noah looked down at the cups. I know. That is your explanation? No, he held one out. Vanilla latte. Extra hot. I did not take it. His hand stayed there for a second, then lowered. I spent all morning trying to figure out what to say. You could have started with anything. I almost did. His eyes met mine. Then every version sounded like I was trying to make last night smaller. The hallway went quiet. Somewhere downstairs, a door slammed. Noah shifted his weight, but did not step back. Were you? I asked. Trying to make it smaller? No, the answer came immediately. I was trying not to make promises because I was scared I would fail at them. I folded my arms. That is not exactly better. I know. He glanced toward the floor, then back at me. I canceled my tour this afternoon. Why? Because I kept thinking about you standing on that train. His fingers tightened around the coffee cup. And because I realized I was doing the same thing I always do. Letting someone leave before they could decide I was worth staying for. That landed harder than I expected. I looked away. You did not give me much to decide. That is why I came. He took one careful step closer. I blocked Marcus. I told Daniel I am not going to Leah's party. Not because you asked me to. You did not. I did it because I am tired of acting like being available to everyone is the same as being honest with someone. I swallowed. And what are you being honest about now? Noah went still. His eyes dropped briefly to my hands, then returned to my face. I wanted to kiss you at the lake. My breath caught. I wanted to kiss you at the station too. He gave a nervous laugh. I kept stopping because I thought slowing down would make this safer. Did it? No, the answer was quiet. It just made you think I was leaving. I finally took the coffee from him. Our fingers touched. Neither of us pulled away. So what do you want? I asked. Noah looked at me for a long second. No smile. No joke. I want to see you again when I am not being paid to show you around. My heart started pounding. That sounds like a date. I was hoping it would. The pause between us felt different now. Still nervous. Still uncertain. But no longer hidden. I stepped aside and opened the door wider. Noah exhaled like he had been holding his breath since yesterday. As he walked in, his hand brushed mine again. This time, he turned his palm and held on. One thing, I murmured. What? Do not disappear tomorrow. His thumb moved slowly across my knuckles. I will not. And for the first time since we met, I believed him. Noah stayed for coffee, then dinner, then long enough that the city outside my windows went dark again. Nothing dramatic happened. We sat on my couch with takeout between us, arguing about whether deep dish pizza counted as actual pizza. He stole the last piece. I told him that was a terrible way to start a relationship. Relationship? His eyebrows lifted. My stomach dropped. I meant whatever this is. Noah looked at me for a second, then set the pizza box aside. I would like it to be something. The room went quiet. Not awkward. Just honest. I looked down at our hands resting between us. His fingers were close to mine, but not touching. Me too, I said. Noah turned his hand over, palm up. An invitation. I placed mine in it. He closed his fingers slowly, like he was still giving me time to change my mind. I did not. Our first real date happened 3 days later. No tour route. No clipboard. No strangers waiting for directions. Noah took me back to the coffee place with the red door, and the barista looked between us with a smile she did not bother hiding. Private tour again? She asked. Noah glanced at me. Not this time. He kept holding my hand while he ordered. That small thing mattered more than I expected. He did not drop it when people looked. He did not turn it into a joke. He just stood beside me like that was where he had decided to be. We did not become perfect overnight. Noah still got quiet when things felt serious. I still assumed silence meant someone was leaving. We had to learn each other slowly. Which days he needed space. Which jokes meant I was nervous. Which look meant he was about to say something honest and wanted to run before he did. A few months later, we ran into Daniel near the lake. He looked at our hands, then at Noah. So the private tour worked out. Noah smiled. Yeah, that was all. No announcement. No explanation. Just his thumb brushing across my knuckles while Daniel grinned like he had known before we did. Our routine became simple. On nights Noah was not working, we picked a street neither of us knew well and walked until we found something worth remembering. A diner. A bookstore. A park with terrible benches and a great view. Sometimes we talked the whole time. Sometimes we did not. The silence stopped feeling empty. One night, we ended up back beneath the awning where the rain had pushed us together. Noah looked up at it and laughed. This is where you started lying to yourself. I was being cautious. You told yourself I treated every guest that way. You were very professional. He stepped closer. Was I? Not even a little. He smiled, then reached for my hand. I gave it to him before he had to ask. That was the thing I learned from Noah. A forever kind of love does not always arrive with a speech. Sometimes it starts with someone remembering your coffee. Someone turning back to make sure you are still there. Someone holding out a hand and waiting. I booked that tour because I did not want to spend one more night alone. I just did not know the man guiding me through the city would become the person I wanted beside me for every night after.